Hello and welcome everyone, and today I'm excited. You can say that I'm super excited because the challenge just dropped, the Challenge 41 Super Trailer. This is 3 minutes of a ton of footage that was not in the original trailer slash teaser that they originally released. I'm so excited to be diving into this trailer and getting through all the details. Now I do want to mention that in the original trailer, they were blurring out faces and trying to hide some details just so there wouldn't be spoilers for people who do these kind of breakdowns like myself. But for this 3-minute trailer, they let everything go. They let everything fly, and there are possibly spoilers of people in eliminations, daily challenges, as well as a ton more other stuff. So please, if you do not want to be spoiled at all, do not watch this video. But if you do not mind and want to see and sleuth with me, let's start off where this super trailer starts off. And this is a very similar scene that we saw in the original trailer of there's a train, there's TJ saying ready, set, go, and everybody taking off. I will say that we can now see Justin's name fully. Can't really make out anybody else. So let's move on to Olivia standing in line, getting ready for the beginning of a daily challenge. You can see that she is standing next to Derrick. I believe Gabe is behind Derrick, and we can see that possibly Jake is behind Olivia. I love the editing done early in this super trailer because as we move on to the next scene, we can see that there is a transparency layer over Olivia's face, and we can see that Olivia will be in an elimination at some point in this season. And we hear from Olivia saying, "I'm not here again to play around and jump off buildings for no reason. We're here for the title." We move on to Nany, who is also standing in line getting ready for a daily challenge with, I think, Theo behind her. And then we have Jeremy, who is kind of close-ish to Nany, and we can see the transparency layer of Nany in a daily challenge. She's not in an elimination, she's in a daily challenge doing something very, very strenuous. Nany says, "I didn't come here to play, I came here to win a whole lot of money." We know that Nany isn't here with any of her Big Brother friends. I love that Nany is coming from All-Stars Rivals, ready to compete, wanting to win and get that cash for her bank account. Here we have CT getting ready and standing in line, and it looks like Leonardo is ready to just take off running as fast as he can. I think Leroy is behind both of these men. I think Derrick Chavez is standing next to Leroy. So it looks like a lot of guys just standing there. We can see that CT is going to be orange by the color of his helmet. As I was talking about in the original trailer, I was like, oh, they're blurring out faces. Oh, who's in this? Who's in this pole wrestle? I think that's CT, possibly. As previously mentioned, they don't care about spoilers. Hey, you want to know who's in the pole wrestle? CT's in the pole wrestle, because we put that on the transparency of his face. As he says, these new threats, once we train them, it's going to be hard to contain them. Which I love the rhyme there. Next, we have Giant Bananas in an elimination in the arena, as we'll hear TJ call it. And Bananas, who has him as a transparency of him doing a daily challenge as he is in the middle of an elimination. And Banana says, "CT, come on, bro. They're all green, man. I mean, I don't think they realize what they've signed up for." Now, I did make this black and white here for the YouTube audience because I don't want to get in trouble or anything, but it looks like possibly, I want to say maybe CT, who knows, but it looks like CT gets an injury on his foot during what looks to be the mud ball pit challenge, which we will see constantly throughout this trailer. As we see here, we can see America is tethered to a veteran player as they are trying to get their balls over to their cage. There was a daily challenge in the original trailer of like Izzy and the apparatus that they will be climbing, but it looks like Lekka will also be doing that challenge as well, where it seemed like there was a rope ladder, then there was also a cargo net that you could then have to balance beam your way in the middle where there is a game board. This is a brand new daily challenge that was not featured in the original trailer. It looks like this will possibly be the final 7 or final 14 that will be doing this challenge. This looks very interesting. It looks like it is a tube plank. I think it's Jeremy is on the orange plank, and then you have Cedric here on the kind of darkish blue turquoise. It looks like this board can tip easily, so your guess is as good as mine. What do you think they're doing in this daily challenge? Let me know in the comments section below. At the beginning, it sounds like that TJ mentions that the format of this game will be that veterans will be paired up with the rookie players, and they're going to have to work together in some ways, but possibly they're going to have to like do the algorithm in USA 2 where they're going to swap players every so often. But this particular challenge here makes me feel like this particular challenge is the mini final. It'll happen in the middle of the season, and it doesn't look like anybody's tethered to one another. So I wonder if they're originally going to be paired up with each other, swap around the pairs every so often, and then midway through, when we get to the mini final, TJ is saying, all right, everybody, no more pairs, and everybody's just out for themselves. Have fun. This is the mini final, and you're going to be eating an onion and a whole bunch of really hot peppers. As we can see, Adrian will be doing this challenge, and it does not look like she is having very much fun with this. I can't tell who is standing next to her, though. It is another rookie. This is gross, and I've also blurred out this, but it looks like Jeremy will be doing the eating an onion hot pepper challenge and not having a good time at it as well. Next, we have a challenge that was featured very much in the original trailer, which is this van one that will be tethered by another van, a rig of some sort. And one teammate is going to have to undo the chains on the van, and then the other teammate is going to have to try to navigate the van through trying to break down boxes and everything. I really can't make out anybody that name is on that helmet. So Justin is partnered up with somebody else, and I can't tell who that person is. All right, we have Jeremy climbing the climb wall, and this is, I think, from the same daily challenge of when Derrick was jumping into that big tube and then getting sloshed around and asking for help in the original trailer. So Jeremy will be doing that one, but I think we already saw Jeremy up at the top of that one as well. We have Tay, who this is going to be a very tough challenge where it seems like there are going to be multiple poles that team members are going to have to run and dig up and then carry the poles from long distances and then maybe have to reset them up. And Ashley will be doing this one. We see that Tay has an orange helmet, and we saw CT have an orange helmet in the previous, like early on in this trailer. So maybe CT will be Tay's partner in this challenge. But it seems like everybody's going to be changing colors as each day goes on. And we can't put too much emphasis on who's in which color on different dailies. Leonardo will be doing a swimming challenge. I think it will be the one that we saw Lekka doing as well as Izzy doing from the original trailer. So Leonardo possibly doing that challenge as well. Speaking of Izzy, Izzy is here doing the pole challenge as we just saw Tay is doing. Justin will be eating an onion and peppers as well, and he holds up the onion going, "You want a bite?" which is really, really funny. And America will also be doing this challenge. And somebody, I don't think it's America, but somebody says, "Ooh, it burns." CT is here, as well as I think Anissa is behind CT. And as you have people getting hurt from these peppers, CT is just a ravage animal eating these peppers. Look at that. I wanted this particular screenshot because look at him just, that's CT. I mean, one of, if not the best eaters in challenge history. Here is the ball mud pit challenge, which we will see a different angle of, but a lot of people are doing this one. Cara Maria and Jake from the original trailer is paired up doing this challenge. I believe D and Bananas we will see being paired up in this challenge as well. So maybe this is Rogan, and this is the only time we've seen Rogan in any of the trailers or anything. I think the person behind this person who might be Rogan is Theo. This looks to be a really tough challenge, having to carry barrels. Like, oh my gosh. We have Tay again, and she is being paired up with Derrick, who will be on the orange team together on what looks to be a very complex puzzle. Later on in this trailer, we will see that D and Leroy will be paired up on this particular challenge. And when you're looking at that puzzle, D is confused. A survivor player, a survivor winner being confused about this puzzle, just looking at it, not knowing anything about the puzzle, I'm confused. So this is going to be a really tough challenge, but I think one that's going to be happening early on. Gabe and Cara Maria will be paired up on this particular challenge. Blue and Derrick will be paired up at some point, but this proves that vets and rookies will be paired up with each other at certain points in this game, because even TJ says in the voiceover, this season, vets fight along fresh blood. As we can see that Aviv and Jake will also be paired up in this puzzle pillar challenge as well. Here we see Bananas and Deep paired up in the mud ball pit daily challenge. So as we can see here, we have 6 pairs of players running into a cave. Could be more, so I'm not saying that this is the final 12 in the game. This cave challenge, which I believe we saw in the original trailer of this scene as well, where it is Michaela and Cedric kind of minor hats on and then trying to figure out like a code or something that is deep within this cave, and they're gonna have to navigate through the darkness. We have Bananas talking with CT, saying after seeing the way they performed yesterday, if we go against them, it's gonna be a problem, dude. When I first watched this trailer, I was thinking, oh, maybe he is talking about the rookies. But now I feel like this is a point in the game where everybody got paired up. They don't know that they could be swapping partners every so often. So when everybody is paired up, they realize that, oh, well, now possibly we're in our pairs forever and we're gonna be in these pairs for the rest of the game. I'm nervous for a particular pair. We get a different angle of the players coming into the cave that we just saw from the previous. We have Jeremy doing the same pole challenge as we saw that Tay was going to be doing as well. Gabe is looking frustrated or exhausted in some way. We have some canoes here, and let's see if we can figure out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs in picture. Could be more pairs later on. Who is here? Could that be? I know that's Turbo. Turbo is somebody that you can pinpoint from a mile away. And I know that the person in this blue canoe up at the front is Turbo. I just can't tell who the player is with him. Could be America, could be Sydney. This is a scene from the first trailer where we know that Adrian will be doing the van challenge. From the conversation with Bananas saying that, hey, if we have to go up against them, that's gonna be a problem. CT says they look good. They look good. I believe that this could be the beginning of the ball pit mud challenge. And as we can see, we can definitely see Turbo. I don't know who this person is. It looks like Leroy is in the back here. Maybe this is Gabe. I believe this could be Lekka. Here we have the daily challenge where everybody is paired up and then they're driving with a dune buggy, jump a gap, and we can see that Bananas will be doing this. We also have Sydney. We can see clearly on the other helmet here. We knew that Michaela and Theo will be doing this challenge from the original trailer. All right, this is where TJ says, welcome to the arena, where this will be the elimination spot for this season. I love it. I love how simple it looks, yet there is so much attention to detail of rock placement, the challenge logo and how it is written out in the sticks. Everything is covered in these like long sticks. It's just great. I feel like they're really trying to hone in on a dawn of a new era kind of vibe, and I just think that this will add so much to the aesthetics to this season. I really love how this arena looks. What do you think about the arena and how it looks? Let me know down in the comments section below. For the first elimination shown in this trailer, it looks like we have 2 men in hamster balls as they are going up and down on a track that is very wavy. It's going to be hard to keep up the momentum in these tracks. I wonder if they have to keep going back and forth and they have to do it so many times. It makes me think of the one elimination in season 27 between Nany and Kellyanne, where they had those mattresses and they had to keep on hitting the mattresses back and forth, and they had to ring the bell, and every time you pushed on the mattress, you had to make it ring a bell. I wonder if there's going to be a situation here where the players are going to be in the balls and they're going to have to make as many laps back and forth, and the first person to get to like 50 laps will win the elimination. It looks like it is going to be a veteran versus a rookie, as it seems like the person closest to the camera is in dark blue outfits, whereas the person on the far away is in a light gray outfit, and it is pretty difficult to see who this person is, but I know that the veteran closest to the camera has tattoos on their arm. Maybe it could be Rogan, maybe it could be Bananas. Here is another elimination, and it looks like it is against two women, where we have the person on the left-hand side is in dark clothing, and then you have somebody in gray. It looks like it could be a repelling challenge or a climbing challenge, where it looks to be a variant of the wrecking wall elimination. I almost believe that maybe the person on the left-hand side, the veteran, maybe is Ashley. Leroy is talking to somebody saying, TJ's been throwing in so many twists, we don't know what kind of day it's going to be, meaning that TJ's going to be keeping them on their toes. I feel like, again, they're going to be in pairs. Maybe at some point he's going to swap everybody. Maybe he's going to swap people a couple of times. And then I think they're going to go solo-wise and split everybody up. And you're just going to everybody fight for themselves, you know? So this looks to be an early on elimination, as TJ's, when we saw earlier in the trailer where TJ says, welcome to the arena, this is the exact elimination that they were having to do. And as we can see, everybody up in the stands, everybody seems to be wearing normal clothes except for the people on the left-hand side. As we can see, Gabe is here, Bananas is here. Is this America? It looks like this is one of the first eliminations as I try to count everybody. So this is one of the first eliminations, a very early on elimination, and it looks like Bananas, Gabe, and possibly America and D are in a really peculiar situation. TJ is here saying, I think you all need some new partners, which then leads to the shock expressions of Anissa and Cara Maria. We can see that Leonardo is here, Jake is here, Derrick is here. We also have Blue, CT, Tay, Adrian, all looking shocked. So my idea and thought process is that everybody gets into partners, everybody thinks that they're chill and all cool. They may do like 2 or 3 daily challenges and eliminations with everybody in their same partners, and then all of a sudden TJ says, let's switch it up. I think it's too predictable if you do it at the first elimination of swapping everybody. Instead, why not do it 2 or 3 daily challenges and eliminations down to where people feel comfortable, like, oh, if I'm in my pair, I'm feeling great. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm feeling great. I'm vibing out, I have my alliance and everything. I don't like these people, I like these people. And then TJ says, swap everything. As we see TJ in very deep thought, and we have Turbo with Lekka, as I think that Turbo and Lekka will be partnered up early on with each other. And we have Turbo in the confessional saying, old plans, social game, garbage. Can I just say, I'm excited, man. Let's have everybody have to work together, make some big moves, make some big swings. Don't let the game get stale. Let's have some fun, and let's really keep everybody on their toes. I'm so looking forward to this. Here we have a daily challenge that was featured in the original trailer, which I said could be a maze, and it looks, from the aerial view, is a maze, and can't make out anybody, but I think that this daily challenge looks very interesting, the way it is constructed with all the cargo containers. This is either Tay or America in the pole challenge. Look, it's the pole challenge, the pole in the background. CT will also be doing the challenge, the having to climb a ladder. It looks really, really difficult. We have an elimination where it looks like it is a climbing wall, but instead of the rocks that everybody is climbing with, it looks like this player right here, I can't tell who this is, but this player right here, who is a rookie, is using movable pegs, which, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of all of the Challenge USA and the spin-offs where they had that giant truck and they could put their pegs in wherever they wanted to, and then they had to use the pegs and remove them and only could use like 4 pegs to get themselves all the way to the other side of the truck and break a little like vase or something of powder. This is what this reminds me of, that maybe they have certain set pegs and then every player has a certain amount of pegs with them that they get to use to try to climb all the way up to the top wall. And they have to use whatever pegs that they have sparingly because there's just so many holes and the wall looks so high. There's a cargo net, there's a jungle gym. Michaela will be also doing the pole carry challenge, and she will be partnered up with Jake. Jake is also here. The mud ball pit challenge. Bananas. D, grabbing up a whole bunch of balls. As we can see, America is partnered up with Turbo. As previously stated, Cara and Jake will also be doing this, but I cannot make out any. This has got to be one of the first early daily challenges of the season, I would think. This is a challenge that I'm very, very excited for. This could be the final 16 in what I believe is the trivia challenge, where the players are going to be on this rig, hanging over water, having to do the Stairmaster while trying to answer trivia questions with TJ. And if they either forget that they're on the Stairmaster, or maybe you can sabotage your person by kicking up the Stairmaster's speed or something. But if you're like thinking too much, or you just stop walking, or you're getting really tired and can't keep up with your Stairmaster, you just fall behind you. I think that's really great. Here is an angle of the van challenge. We have 4 people swimming. Here we have a part of a daily challenge where I believe the point of this challenge is to connect and make all of the chains the same size or the same length. And you're gonna have to try to put all of the chains together, and there's different sizes for everything, so you're gonna have to put them together. And I think that this is Tay versus Anissa. This is the puzzle to the pillar challenge. We can see that Ashley and Cedric are paired up with each other, having to put this puzzle together. We can see that there are red pieces, we can see that there are green pieces, we can see that there are possibly darker green pieces and then black pieces, and you're gonna have to put them together in a certain order or a certain way. And what I love about this setup to this challenge is that people can't tell or can't look on the way that the puzzles are separated, the length that they are separated, as well as the height. Nobody can just like look over when they're doing their puzzle and then look over and be like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. Oh, that's what, like when D goes off to ask like Lekka what the puzzle looks like or for help, she has to get down, run over, and then ask for help. Whereas I think that they took major steps to where people can't just cheat off of each other so easily, which I really, really appreciate. But we know that Cedric and Ashley will be doing this challenge as well. TJ at some point saying, together, old and new, legend and rookie will have to adapt fast or fall victim to an elimination. And we can see the CT pole wrestle where a lot of people were saying that I was wrong about Theo going up against CT. I have seen the error of my ways, right? Because yes, these are 2 veterans going up against each other. Yes, that is CT. But because of the socks, I know that this most likely is Derrick Chavez. So for me, I think that this is Derrick Chavez versus CT in a pole wrestle. Still a really fantastic pole wrestle. 2 really good players going up against each other. Also, why is TJ that close to the action? Here we have Olivia, Will, Gabe, Leroy, Michaela, Ashley, and Sydney all watching an elimination where Michaela is very invested in one of the players in the elimination as she is saying, go, 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 now do it again. We have a rookie here having to climb up what looks to be a ramp, but of those bars that are in like airports where you have the baggage claim and everything. I wonder if these poles move as you're trying to run up them, which would make this very, very difficult. Very interesting how this is going to play out. I don't know what this elimination entails, but it looks like it's going to be very physically demanding. And maybe it is Lekka because I remember there is a scene in the original trailer where I thought maybe it was Lekka doing a obstacle course in the elimination against a veteran. I believe from the context of the original trailer to this trailer, I believe that this is Johnny Bananas, as I'm looking at the tattoos. Blue is in the gym trying to like maybe get amped up for an elimination. Will does not look pleased. Now, as we're sitting here with Will, looking pretty disheveled or confused or something, we do hear from Nany saying, if you think I feel good about being attached to you, I don't. Then we go to a scene with Nany in this very lovely orange dress, and she says, 6 seasons in, 2 finals, where the are you at? At the beginning, I thought she said 16 seasons in, 2 finals, where are you at? I thought she was talking about, or to Aneesa, but saying 6 seasons in, 2 finals, where are you at? Makes me believe that that is Derrick, because this is his 5th challenge season, Derrick Chavez. This is his 5th challenge season, but add in All-Stars 4. That's his 6th season. All-Stars 4 and Challenge 40 would be 2 finals. I believe that she could be talking to Derrick Chavez, maybe because he is possibly going into a pole wrestle. And then she's like trying to pump him up, being like, you have 6 seasons, you have 2 finals, now you gotta show up and do business and take care of business. Now this looks to be a very tough challenge, as it looks like it is Theo and Adrian paired up with one another, carrying heavy hay barrels. Aviv is carrying a stump. Look at those biceps. Ashley and Leonardo carrying some hay barrels with them. Now this looks like I accidentally got a bad screen grab, but this is very important because this is a conversation with, as you can see, Bananas, Naya, and with Sydney telling them that the heaviest thing that some of these have ever lifted are their eyelashes. So Sydney is throwing some shade over maybe at some other rookies to Naya and Bananas, saying, hey, some of these players aren't doing enough or haven't done anything like I have, like I can do. This is one of the funniest moments in this trailer. Turbo, who is standing next to Olivia, is turning around and saying, you have a little brain, you dumb butt. Shut up. You came to me and you learn everything. And in the middle of this, they do clip Theo looking over to Turbo with a confused face. I almost believe that this is the exact moment that it happens, and maybe Turbo is talking to Theo, because we do have Adrian laughing, and it's because Turbo is saying that you have a little brain. Whoever he's talking to, this is going to be a golden moment on the show. This is a moment from the original trailer where everybody's just having a good time. Johnny is being the guitar guy at the party. There is a point during this scene where we can hear who I think is America saying, we don't matter, we're expendable. And I feel like the rookies are so good this season that they are all focused to win. They're not enamored with being on the challenge. They're not enamored with any of the vets. They came to win. We have Justin consoling Will, saying, I have your back, Will. You are okay. Which I love this wholesome moment. Speaking of comforting, we do hear Cara Maria saying, it frickin' sucks, while talking to CT, who then gives her a hug, saying, I wish I could make you feel better. Now, I did hear sometime in April that Cara Maria's mom had lost her battle with cancer, and my worry about this, and I do have more locked into this theory when we go through the trailer and everything, but possibly while on the season, things at home took a turn for the worst, and Cara Maria then steals CT away to have a private conversation with him where she talks about her feelings and talks about stuff that's going back on at home. Maybe she just got off of a phone call from home with somebody, maybe Paulie, who is telling her all this, and she then goes and maybe is thinking about going home, which I feel like that could be a possibility of what's happening here. And I'll mention why I think that it could be the case as we move on. Here we have everybody in the gym area, and I remember for All-Stars Rivals, there was a lot of conversation, a lot of speculation. Why is Ashley and Aneesa paired up on a rival season together? Do not have to worry about where their rivalry stemmed from, because it is in full bloom. Because here they are after one another, where Aneesa says, B, don't play with me. I'm not the one. Where then Ashley comes walking up to her and says, I can play with you all day, honey. We can see Leonardo in the background. Turbo is stepping in. We also see Theo stepping in. I believe that this is Gabe, Jake, and possibly Justin in the background. And we get more and more with Ashley and Anissa, where I think Tay is in the background. Earlier than later, I almost feel like this is a continuation from All-Stars Rivals, which I'm very much looking forward to. And yeah, they get close with each other. Olivia gets overwhelmed at one point and saying, "This is not fun. I want to be a challenge champ. I feel like the battle is just as hard." Maybe Olivia goes deep into the game, you know? Olivia goes deeper into the game. She has her eye on the prize, as we heard from an earlier confessional. And getting this deep into the game, you have to make really tough decisions. You have to go through a lot of steps and through a lot of people that maybe at a certain point, she just has a bad day, a bad mental day, and she just gets overwhelmed. And yeah, I think that it gets to a certain point where it gets really, really hard. We have a go-kart challenge, which I'm very excited for, this go-kart challenge. Too bad F1 the movie has already come out, because this could have been the tie-in movie daily challenge, you know? Oh, so this could be what Lekka, Izzy, CT, and possibly Leonardo are doing, as it looks like this is a very big rope ladder, and you have all these different situations on the background, the balance beam, and then you have all these different like squiggly lines. And what do we have? Are they gonna have to like go up and then have to climb down to grab a puzzle piece and then climb back up, move over, climb down, grab a puzzle piece, climb back up? Or are they gonna have to climb down, grab a puzzle piece, and then jump down and then reclimb this ladder? It looks like this is Ashley, maybe Will up at the top. Jenny Bananas, who again I think is in that elimination with Gabe. Here's the Doom Buggy challenge. At a certain point, here's the course. This is before I believe that they have to jump the gap. I feel like jump the gap is the finishing, like where how you finish and stop your time is when your tires hit the other side. Here is an interesting angle of the pole challenge. We're back at the hay barrel, where we can see the full scope of where everybody is. Possibly there's more than 9 pairs, 18 players, but at this point of this screen grab and the counting the teams on the screen, there are 9 total pairs. Possibly there is another pair to the right hand side that's off the camera, which could be where Theo and Adrian are, because I can tell you right now, the person on the far right here, that is not Theo and Adrian. So it could be 10 players, 20 people, possibly even more. Here is the one side of that challenge that we saw with the ladder and everything, where Cedric will be doing this challenge, and it looks like he is climbing down the pegs to grab a puzzle piece. All right, this is a huge surprise to me when I was getting this video ready to film, because take a look who is on the screen. And this is where the theory of somebody leaving the game for personal matters or leaving unexpectedly comes into play, because as we can see, as everybody is running down this road, possibly to eat the onion and the peppers, we can see D, Nany, Justin, America or Sydney, Olivia, Turbo, and who is this person? Could this be John A? John A was not a part of the original cast. She does not have a weird, goofy running cast photo picture. I believe John A is an alternate. So again, going back to Cara Maria and CT and their conversation and CT giving her a hug, I think that leads to Cara possibly leaving the game, and boom, John A comes in as a replacement. But I'm surprised that we even have a screen grab or a scene of John A in the game. Now, it's not a question of how it happens or being surprised about it happening. More so, it's like when and how. Olivia, who was in the background of this scene of running up the road, is now passing Nany, who was up at the beginning of the pack there. So Olivia showing off some good stamina. We have Jake looking confused as it looks like he's playing Jenga. We have crates with numbers on them, and they are all tied up. Possibly they're trying to undo the cargo containers because it looks like each barrel or each cargo container has both rope and chains. And it looks like Will, or I should say Will and his partner, were able to undo the rope to where they only have the chain left. Whereas we can see Derrick, who is on the pink team, him and his partner are trying to undo the ropes first and then get to the chains, or Derrick is trying to get through the chains while his partner does the rope. And it looks like, is that Theo and Adrian paired up again? Is this still the same barrel hay challenge that they were paired up with? Because it looks like Theo and Adrian are still paired up. Maybe that is going to be a really long, very tough challenge as well. Maybe that's how it starts off. We have Gabe running / looking very exhausted. Ashley with the shovel, she will be doing this pole carrying, putting in the ground, digging, and resetting up challenge as well. We got some spicy bus moments where it looks like America and Tay may be sharing a smooch on the bus. I believe that this could be Nany, and is that Jake? What leads me to believe that this is Nany is 1, dark hair. 2, she's known for having some smooches on the challenge, especially now that her and Casey are no longer together. And 3, we have Nany in a confessional saying, oh gosh, this is the challenge house. Somebody in this game has to hook up. And we get a smooch from both Theo and Olivia, where we hear Banana saying, I don't think I've ever fallen in love this quick. Then you have a confessional right afterwards with D saying, ladies, you kiss them, you tease them, and you don't give your power away. Is D playing bananas like a fiddle? D is being featured so much in this trailer, which I felt like she was going to, because she is a Survivor winner. She is a very recent Survivor winner. She was very smart. She's very cunning. And I feel like she is coming in ready to play that part. And she is ready to come in and play hard. Here we have the Oppenheimer. Even with the challenge not blurring out faces, they decide not to show faces at all. But again, it looks like it's going to be a rookie versus a veteran. Theo looks to have won an elimination with what looks to be a log in the background, and Theo is saying, I say whatever I want, and you'll do nothing, and you'll do nothing. He gets thrown in by possibly the power pair, and maybe they cited something that he said that they didn't like, so now they threw him in. He comes back, wins, and he's like, you'll do nothing, and you'll do nothing. I can say what I want. After this moment, they do show Olivia, who is like nervous. We're back to seeing everybody running. As you can see from this screen, where everybody seems to have stopped running, maybe they got to a point with a rules or a description of what they're going to have to do next, but it looks like Justin, Nany, America, and D are all getting to the spot at the same time. Leroy is carrying a barrel, which I believed it was Rogan and Theo carrying a barrel, and now Leroy's also carrying a barrel at the same time. Here is the pillar puzzle challenge where Gabe and Cara Maria are going to be paired up with each other. I'm not too sure about how they will do in the puzzles because Cara Maria isn't the best puzzle person. I wonder if Gabe is really good at puzzles. Derrick is talking to somebody saying, it's the things they do to you that make you come back and be stronger and prove people wrong, which Derrick has done in spades, having not done so well in his early challenge career, but in the last 2 seasons have done incredible jobs making the final. TJ is walking up to a challenge looking pretty good in his gear. People are running into barns, it looks like. I don't even know what's going on, but we can see that Turbo and Michaela are going to be doing this challenge. And then we have 3 rookies on the screen as well. Can't tell who they are or what their names are. So early in the trailer, we saw Aviv carrying a stump in her arms with her big bicep with the orange band around them. Here is Cedric also carrying a stump with an orange band. Does all the stumps have orange bands, or does every team have a pile of stumps with their corresponding team color on them to where Cedric and Aviv will be partnered up in this challenge? We're back at the hay barrels, as it looks like we have a lot of people here. I can't make out anybody who is anybody. Maybe this is Jeremy up here. I think that this could be Aviv. We have 2 dark uniforms on the same team. Can you have 2 dark uniforms on the same team? Or are we doing a double agents type of thing? Maybe that's how it starts off. Okay, here it is. Maybe the game starts off as a double agents where if you get thrown into elimination, your partner gets eliminated, your rogue agent, and then you can infiltrate other teams. If you win an elimination, you can infiltrate other pairs and everything. TJ stops and says, everybody's swapping pairs now. So when everything gets into a even number of men and women, then they get to now, you get to choose everybody. We're swapping up pairs. And then they'll do that a couple of times where they'll just swap up randomly / do the double agent / season 37 thing. And then boom, midway through, they decide that they're going to go solo. Because how can you have what looks to be 2 darker jerseys paired up on the same team on the bottom of the... Is this Bananas and Olivia paired up with each other? How can you have 2 dark jerseys paired up when you have rookies in the game? Also, is that Theo all the way in the back with Theo and D? Or somebody very, very small? We're back in the cave with Turbo. We have Cara Maria and Cedric paired up in the crate maze challenge where somebody did mention that they are playing Sudoku. Easily you can tell from this particular screen grab that they are 100% playing Sudoku. So we're playing Sudoku, everybody. Here is a daily challenge that was featured in the original trailer where there is a tower being suspended over the water. It looks like these are all puzzle pieces, so I wonder if there's going to be puzzle boards that you're going to have to grab your team's puzzle pieces via having to climb up this thing and then make sure you got the right one and then put it into your puzzle board. Cedric with those baby blue eyes will be doing the Doom Buggy challenge, I bet. Or this is going to be the van daily challenge where it's going to be tethered and having all the chains on them. The go-kart challenge, again, looking forward to this. In my opinion, and how the rest of the trailer looks, this to me, I think is the final. I don't know when it is in the final, but it looks like 2 people are paired up at a certain stage of the final, and they're running / in the middle of a race, trying to look for TJ or the next station or something. I don't know where it is in the final. To me, though, I'm going to say 94 to 95% of myself is sure that this is 2 finalists in the final doing something. Oh, I just thought of this. What if this is the Dune Buggy Challenge? On the course, like say that they're on the course. They each have a time limit to drive the Dune Buggy through the course and having to remember in which color and in what orientation they are. And they have to fill out all these puzzle pieces where they go. So then we move on to D and Leroy, who are stumped on this puzzle, to where D says, can't be there because this one's blue here. Dang dude, who has it? Then she gets down off of her station, runs over to a pair that is completely done, which is Lekka and Turbo, where then D says Lex, short for Lekka, barely short for Lekka. She just says Lex, but it's Lekka. The inside 2 pieces. The inside, and before she could finish that sentence, Turbo says, don't say anything. Anissa and Tay will be doing the eating challenge. So now where they had to put all the chains together, I believe that Tay and Anissa are not paired with each other, but I think that they're going to try to run this portion of this like mini final, this solo mini final, kind of together in a way to like be there for one another. And then there is this situation where we hear it here, but we also heard it in the original trailer where TJ says, the one thing that I hate worse than quitters are cheaters. And as we see, this is going to be a difficult eating challenge for people. Nobody likes to eat just raw onions, or very rarely does anyone like to eat raw onions and also these really, really hot peppers. But it sounds like maybe there was a lot of peppers on somebody's dish and they didn't like it and they just maybe tossed them off the cliff. And you can hear who I think is Leonardo saying, you guys can go back and check the tapes. Justin here is saying there's 2 whole red peppers back there. Leonardo, I think, says that's freaking cheating, bro. And who I think is Jake, clearly a UK accent, saying, I mean, what's cheating? The very next thing is Jake, who's possibly lagging behind everybody. So I think it is Jake, and he's saying, I mean, what's cheating? lined up after the Mud Pit Ball Daily Challenge, and we can see that everybody is here. Like, we have everybody here. I almost feel like the Mud Pit Ball Daily Challenge, they've shown it so much that that is the first daily challenge of the season. So you have everybody here, and then we turn it over to TJ, who says, again, the one thing I hate worse than quitters are cheaters. And then you have Cara saying, what? And again, everybody is lined up. We have America, who I think is paired up with CT. We have Blue paired up with Derrick. Lekka paired up with Turbo. Ben paired up with Nany. Gabe paired up with Cara Maria. Michaela with Leonardo, and so on and so forth. You can see Derrick. You can see Olivia. You can see a ton of people here. So again, I feel like this could happen earlier than later, but there are a lot of people here when TJ announces something. Maybe this isn't the exact point. Maybe TJ throws out a different twist at that moment to get that reaction from Cara and Blue, eventually Blue. Then we get some of these reverse shots, and boom, we're going to end off with Turbo and CT. I think I was wrong in the original trailer breakdown, where I was like, oh, maybe they're talking in the kitchen about something that happened and all this other stuff. Where my new thought is that CT and Theo are having a really deep conversation about their feelings. I think that CT maybe is missing home, missing his son, and maybe it's getting later and later in the game, and he's just like, man, I kind of miss my son. I kind of miss being at home. This game is really, really tough, and I'm having a tough time. Maybe he's struggling mentally on this day, and maybe he just needs some words of encouragement from Theo. Maybe at a certain point in the conversation, CT is saying, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. I'm really struggling. I'm having a difficult time. I'm missing my son. And as he is saying that, Turbo is walking in, and Turbo hears that CT is having a difficult time, and maybe is thinking about walking away. Maybe he's just like, man, maybe it's really, really difficult. Maybe if I go home, it's not that big of a deal because I get to go see my son and hang around with friends and family and everything. So maybe he's saying something along the lines to that while Turbo is walking in. And this is where Turbo gets mad because he's like, for some people, it's a dream. And if you're thinking about going home or you're fine with going home and not giving it your 100%, you're in the wrong, because there are people here that want to be here. There are people whose dreams of being here, and now what? You're coming here and taking a spot? To where CT then reacts saying, then don't judge. Because I think that's the point, is that Turbo is coming in, not knowing the full context, or not asking questions of what's being talked about between CT and Theo. And I think that CT maybe is just looking for some words of encouragement. Maybe he's just feeling down in the dumps a little bit on this day. And Turbo comes in at the exact wrong time and just gives an opinion that, one, CT wasn't looking for, and two, maybe Turbo is saying stuff that he doesn't know the full context of. And so that's when CT says, then don't judge, and I can come here anytime I want to. You know, if they call me and I say yes, I can be here. It's not on anybody else. I can be here and be on the challenge anytime I want, if they want me to be here, kind of stuff. So I think that's my new theory of what the conversation is between CT and Turbo and Theo and everything that's going on right here. And then we get the logo of the challenge vets and new threats. Now, I do think we hear D as the final voice and the final quote that says, "We're not here to be liked, it's new threats." This trailer was spectacular. And can I just say, I went from being cautiously optimistic / a little tepid. You know, I'm a little bit timid on whether I want to say that I like this season or that I'm getting excited for this season. And then that first trailer comes out and I'm like, okay, you're piquing my interest a little bit. And then you get a 3-minute trailer like this and it looks spectacular. It makes this season look even better and I cannot wait. I'm so excited that we are so close to the beginning of the Challenge 41. That again, episode 0 will be happening on July 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then episode 1, the official premiere, will be happening on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on July 30th. I cannot wait. This trailer looks so good. And if they keep everything that's in this trailer on the season, it should be one of, if not the best seasons we have had in a long, long time. Again, it makes me feel like there is influences from season 25, season 33, and kind of mashing them together and creating what could be a spectacular season with some good vets and some really strong rookies that could be wanting to play this game from the very beginning and not just solely hand-holding and facilitating everything that the veterans want to do, which has been the hindrance of some of the more recent seasons where there are so many rookies that just want to handhold and just do everything to the beck and call of the veterans, where I feel like there's so many rookies here that want to make a mark so soon. They want to win. They don't know how much time they have in this game. They just want to get that money, and I'm so excited for this. I am so excited. I am super excited for this season to begin. But now I want to turn it over to you. What do you think about this trailer? Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think about some of the daily challenges, some of the scenes? Which scenes are you the most excited about? What are you looking forward to the most? And did this super trailer get you excited, or are you still cautiously optimistic, or are you going to be very, very skeptical until episode 1, episode 2, and seeing how the actual rookies are going to play this game? Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. Tell me anything and everything you feel about this super trailer down in the comment section below. Who are you rooting for? Who are you rooting against? Please, no spoilers in the comment section. Only some fun speculation and some good conversations, please. Thank you so much for watching this long video here on my channel about a 3-minute trailer. I really, really appreciate it. And I also want to give a special shout out, thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really, really soon with more Challenge 41 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.